Good morning, everyone. It's so great to see you today. I'm honored to be able to welcome you all to a project that's a long time coming. I think most of us know, especially those who've worked here in Douglasville and been around Douglasville, it has been a long time coming for us to have the State Route 92 project and host a ribbon cutting today. Great to have you here. We're not going to keep you long. We know that it's warm and it's hot, but we do want to hear from some very important people who are critical in making certain that this project happened here in Douglasville. So with that, I will turn it over to Councilwoman LaShawn Burr-Danley, who is going to bless us with the national anthem.
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly gleaming, and the Rockies' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow. Fantastic.
Thank you so much. We owe definitely a dedication of appreciation to Ms. Stanley for blessing us with that rendition of the national anthem. And now I will turn it over to Mayor Rochelle Robinson.
Thank you so much, City Manager and Councilmember Burr-Danley. It's such a blessing to have you all today in our presence, and we're so excited that you've decided to come and celebrate with us. We welcome you and thank you again for being here at the ribbon cutting for Highway 92. I want to recognize the elected officials that are here today, and of course, I don't want him to stand. I want all of us to stand and celebrate and welcome our United States Congressman David Scott. Please stand and welcome him. Don't stand. Let us welcome you. Thank you so much. Thank you. He has been our warrior on this project and so many others. We just received a letter where he's still pulling down money, pulling down resources. And during COVID-19, ARPA funds, and we just thank you so much, Congressman Scott, for all that you do for us. You are such a blessing to our community. We also like to welcome our city council members. I will call your name and please hold your applause until the end. Councilman Mark Adams, he's over the purse strings. Councilman Adams, Councilmember Nicole Miller, Councilmember you've just heard from Dr. LaShawn Burr-Danley, Mayor Pro Tem Terry Miller, Councilmember Chris Watts, and the other council member that represents this side of town, the north side, New Horizons community, is Councilmember Samuel Davis. Please stand, council members, so that they can recognize you, and thank you. We have a relationship with the county, and we continue to push forward, and we're excited to have Board of Commissioners here. We have the chair of the Board of Commissioners, Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones. Please stand so that we can recognize you. and also the Vice Chair and Transportation Chair of the Board of Commissioners for Douglas County, Commissioner Kelly Robinson. Let's recognize him. Thank you so much, Councilman Robinson. Commissioner Robinson. And we have a very special person, Department of Georgia, Department of Transportation, our GDOT District Rep, Miss Dana Lemon. Let's recognize her. All right, we'll get down to the nuts and bolts. This project has been a long time coming, as Sam Cook would say, but a change has come. 30 years in the making to make this come to fruition, and the City Council officially voted in 2013 to move forward with this project, and construction began in 2014. The community itself has been so vocal and so instrumental in helping us to bring this project to fruition. We appreciate GDOT and the Northside Council members for having so many meetings, community meetings. Over 400 people would show up to meetings, and the City Council supporting us. The Douglasville project is just one part of a bigger and larger project that's north of Nebo Road in Paulding County. This was a $85 million Georgia Department of Transportation project that has helped with traffic flow to bring renovation opportunities to the New Horizons community and spur growth around the entire Old Mill site. This project has added and improved pedestrian crossing, bicycle facilities along the route, and making the city a more walkable and more accessible place to get to. So we thank the Georgia Department of Transportation, but most of all, again, we thank Congressman Scott. And I know Congressman Scott, every time we go to the DC flyover with the chamber and we enter his office, we see a Bible, brother. We see a Bible, Mr. Ndodo. So we thank him. We know he's a man of faith, and you continue to bring things to us representing the 13th Congressional District. And I know since you're a man of faith and you love music, I'm going to sing this, and then we'll ask Ms. Dana Lemon to come. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To my God be the glory for the things He has done. Amen. Miss Dana Lemon, come. Thank you so much, Congressman Scott.
Well, good morning. And I promise you, you guys do not want me to sing. So I will not be following their lead, Congressman. But I am truly, truly honored and blessed to be here this morning. I will tell you folks that Congressman Scott and I have been on this road, this transportation road together since 2003. And we have seen many, many projects come to fruition, and we've seen funding come and funding go. And we've had some fights on our hands in order to ensure that the things within the 13th Congressional District keep moving. And I just want to let each of you know that I am so thankful to have him as a partner and to follow his lead in all things transportation and other policy efforts and within our congressional districts. Thank you always for your diligence, for your prayers, and for being a stalwart within this congressional district to ensure our community gets all the things that we need in order to be successful and to thrive. I am Dana Lemon. I represent the 13th Congressional District on the Georgia DOT Board, and on behalf of the other members of our board, there are actually 14 of us, and almost 4,000 employees of the Georgia Department of Transportation. We're honored to be here this morning for this ribbon cutting. Thank God, the ribbon cutting. And for those of you who have not been following this project, y'all don't understand. But the people up here on this front row and many in the audience understand why we say thank God for the ribbon cutting. I'm not going to talk about the project. I'm not going to talk about what it took to get here. I just want to take a moment to say thank you. First of all, to the leadership of this community, starting, of course, with Congressman Scott, but with the council leadership, the mayor, and as well as the county leadership. We could not have finished this project without your support and your diligence. I want to say thank you to the community for your patience, for constantly communicating with us and letting us know what's right, what's wrong, and what we can do better. That communication is critical, not just for this project, for all the projects we do within your community. So as we continue to work within this community and other projects will come, this is not the last project in Douglas County, please continue to communicate with us and allow us to serve as your support as we make improvements within your transportation network that will in fact improve not just the quality of your life, but economic development. Amen?
Amen.
And then finally, I want to take a moment to say thank you to my GDOT staff. I've seen some of them come, some of them go, some of them get promoted, some of them move on. There have been so many professionals on this project throughout its fruition. And I just want to take a moment and ask them to please stand. If you touch this project at all and you're with the Georgia Department of Transportation, please stand so we can acknowledge the work that you did. I know I want to give special kudos to Ruben. He's such a humble guy. But I want to say thank you, Ruben, for your diligence, and the district staff, for all of you staying on this project and finishing it. I know there may have been some opportunities where you could have moved on as well, but you decided to stay and finish this project, and I just want to say thank you for that. Partnership is how this works, folks. Leadership is how this works. And we've had some great partners, and we've had some great leadership, and we've got more projects to come. We thank you for allowing us to be a part of this process, and we look forward to continuing to make changes in Douglas County, the city of Douglasville, so that, again, we can all have a better quality of life, we can grow, we can thrive. Amen?
Amen.
Folks, have a great day.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. And before we turn it over to Congressman Scott and then subsequently our two ward representatives on council, I'll ask Mayor Robinson to come up. She has two special presentations to make.
Thank you so much, City Manager. The first one, thank you so much. This is to Ms. Dana Lemon for exemplary service as a Georgia Department of Transportation board member, proudly serving the citizens of Douglasville and its transportation needs. Douglasville Mayor and City Council 2022. Thank you.
That's lovely.
Sure. Oh. I know that's my sorority sister. She can say whatever she wants. And then here's my first family Divine Nine Alpha brother. This is the key to the city. This is presented to U.S. Congressman David Scott for serving and securing critical funding for State Route 92 and tirelessly dedication to the city of Douglasville. And I'm going to say this, former councilman, Mayor Pro Tem, now Commissioner Henry Mitchell III, he and I were serving on city council in 2002 through 2006, and we went to D.C. and we were trying to get resources. And this project has been for 30 years, so you know it was not a sprint, it was a relay, and we had to pass the baton several times. And so he and I went, and we were able to come on the floor, and I don't know if you remember this, Congressman Scott, but we came on the floor and we talked about families in Douglasville who sometimes they couldn't get across the track, and families, homes burned, and people lost their lives and they couldn't get to the hospital. And so at that time, you picked up the baton and said, we are going to make this a federal highway issue. And we thank you for that. So we thank Board of Commissioner person Henry Mitchell III, and we thank you. And this is from the key to the city to Congressman Scott from his Mayor and City Council.
Thank you. Oh, one more, please.
While you're standing, we can ask you.
Oh, say a word.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I got to start out by saying First of all, Douglas County and Douglasville is God's country. Can I get a round of applause for that? Like you mean it. Now, I want to tell you why I said that. Because I've learned throughout my life that God works for those that believe in Him, have trust in Him, to know that when you're doing some of the most difficult work, and it comes through fruition, that's not your work alone. It's God's work. And that's why I wanted to start by identifying where we are. When you look at the great challenges that this city, this county has faced, the doors that were open, that had not been open, doors that were open that we had difficulty in keeping open, but somewhere, somehow, God works for those who work for God. And so I want to start off what I got to say by letting you all know that in your life, you're given certain golden opportunities. And when I was elected to Congress and Douglas County was put in my district, many people said, David Scott will never win that district. Let me tell you all, when that happened and I was elected, was the same year, the same time, that we in the state Senate and the State House of Representatives changed our flag from being the Confederate battle flag to being the flag that represents true Georgia. And they never said, my God, there was up an uproar at that time. Roy Barnes, the governor, went down. Tom Murphy, the speaker, no more. And Sonny Perdue was elected. I represented a district that was overwhelmingly majority white at that time. Douglas was just one of 13 counties that I had to win. No, David Scott would not win that seat. But I wanted to tell you that on election night, I made history and I won that seat that said I couldn't win. And the one county that many said I definitely wouldn't carry, overwhelmingly voted for David Scott. And I wanted to tell you all this story so you understand God moves with His people. There are people that pray every night for something. God has messengers. He anoints people. He gives you the talent and chooses you to do something. I felt that compelling interest when I would walk the streets back then. I never will forget, and I love all the streets in Douglasville, but Central Church. Do you all know where Central Church is? I cannot ever forget the level and the number of yard signs on Central Church Street, King's Highway, and God bless Annie Wakey. And that set the tone. And God brought a good friend to me at that time. I wish he was here. His name is Bill Osborne. Anybody know Bill Osborne? It was Bill Osborne. And the mayor then, I can't think of his name. Mickey Thompson came to me, and they asked for my help on getting the money. I think it was $80 million for Dallas Highway. It had been tried before, but I picked up those pieces. But I wanted you to know how we got here. We got here because this represents truly God's work. There were many people didn't want the money to come to Douglas. They fought us. Some of you may remember that meeting we had because they were telling lies to the black community and the Hispanic community because the road was going to go underneath and it was going to come this way and the black community was going to be annihilated. The business part was Hispanic. That was. They wanted to divide this county mentally. And they felt that that would kill this bill. So I say that to you to let you know this was a multi-dimensional fight. It was multiracial. It was multicultural when they came out here. And there were people going and just telling the black people up and down Dallas Highway, don't listen to David Scott because they're not going to give you, because there were some houses that had to be moved. Now, folks, this is what I'm saying. When you're thinking about it and you look at this magnificent highway, there had to be sacrifices, great movement of homes, of businesses. That brought quite a bit of angst on people. But what disturbed me the most was them saying that this money is there now, but they're not going to give you the proper amount for your houses on Dallas Highway. And then I called that meeting. I think some people remember that meeting. I know Isaac was there and others. It was just a meeting to quell this evilness that was coming. You know, when God gets busy, that devil gets busy too. And they go to telling everything. And so I called the meeting, but I called the meeting to give the people the confidence. I wanted them to know to trust me, that we will make sure that you get a top quality road coming through here. And any business or any home that has to be moved, and there are some that will. I said, I guarantee you, as God is our maker, that you will get a fair and high price, quality for your home. And we were able to quell that. But here's what happened. We had that meeting. They told me to come out to Douglas County. We had it set up. Bill Osborne, I can remember the call now, Congressman. We're surrounded out here by folks all dressed in white. And there's rumors that it's the Ku Klux Klan. Y'all remember this? I'm telling you, you need to, as we cut this ribbon, you need to know of the so many heroes, so many people that fought, not just me. I mean, this was Douglasville's moment. And it was like a light shining in the darkness. And when they come, it was a bunch of doctors who had gotten upset because that was the day I got off the plane from Washington, and Obama had signed one of the Obama bills or something. I forgot about it. But all these doctors were there. And then the other people came and took advantage of that and hijacked the meeting. And that CNN, all the cameras were there. But I wanted to share with you the challenges that we had here, that this is not an easy task. And it continues to offer challenges, but we will make it. And we will make it because we have a tireless fighter, like our representative. Please stand on the Transportation Board. Give her a hand, won't you? She was there. Isaac was there. We all were there. So I just wanted to take just a moment to kind of set the tone and let you know the hollow ground this is. And the people, many are not here, but that moment that brought this community together, white people and black people working together, it's a joy, and this is what we celebrate here. A historic moment for Douglas County, so that this road symbolizes your greatness, your tenacity, and your great faith in God Almighty. And I just want you to feel free to always call on me at any time when you need my help on anything here, because I believe that the good Lord called me. He calls everybody. He has a mission for you. Douglas County is my mission. And I leave you with these words that I hope you will remember. Them that's got shall get, and them that's not shall lose. Because the Bible says, and it still is news, your mama may have and your papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. And God bless Douglasville. God bless Douglas County. And God bless Dallas Highway, a symbol of the greatness of this great county. Thank you, thank you, thank you. another day. Please. Don't have back surgery. It takes so long to get over.
All right, thank you so much, and let's give Congressman Scott another round of applause. All right, as we come toward the end of the program, we have two more speakers. Importantly, we have our two council representatives, Councilwoman Dr. LaShawn Burdanley, Councilman Sam Davis, who all live in this district, so have experienced this project firsthand. And then we will have, following them, our chairman of Douglas County, Dr. Ramona Jackson-Jones.
Thank you again to the Honorable Congressman David Scott, to our board member, Dana Lemon, to our wonderful mayor and council members and all of our elected officials, to our chairwoman. Wow, I can just say, this has definitely been a long journey. And on behalf of the residents here in Ward 3, we are very grateful to have this such a wonderful, wonderful bypass. When I say this has been a long journey, it's been a long journey. And I'm sure that GDOT's probably saying, I'm so glad I'm going to get her out of my hair. But it's okay. It's been bittersweet, but it's been great because the residents here, now we don't have to wait on the train. We have the fire truck, fire station here, and it has just brought so many amenities to the community, and quality of life is much better than what it was. And we still are working diligently and will work diligently to make sure that we have more economic growth in this area. I can say so much, but thank you. And I just have to say that Isaac, many, many times, Isaac, I think you and I probably spoke every day about the project. I felt like every day. And I want to say that you have you're a gentle giant, and you just have taken this project along with Congressman Scott and staff to make sure things have gone on. So on behalf of the residents and behalf of our mayor and council, we'd like to give you this wonderful plaque. Isaac, come on up.
Most deserving. Thank you.
It says, in appreciation to Isaac Dodo, Deputy District Director of Congressman David Scott's office, for his commitment to Douglasville and supporting local projects, specifically State Route 92, 2022. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I don't have to say anything. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. But without Congressman who always says to us in the office, remember we are doing God's work. So I take this on behalf of my fellow staff members and the boss. Thank you.
I guess they say the best for last. What do you think? As I grew up here in the neighborhood, and this is I welcome everybody to the New Horizon. And Congressman Scott always stopped by the barber shop, but he never get a haircut. He leave a sign. But I thank him and all the crew. And I was one of the staff members up there that day when they hijacked the meeting, and I hid under the table. Because that's the first time I ever been in a hijack. And he got a warning through his phone that they was out there, and we had to hit the floor. I think everybody, LaShawn, you was there, right? We all was there when they hijacked it. But you know, and on behalf of the Hussey family, Jimmy Hussey, he was one of those that was told that they were going to rob and steal his property. And we brought him to Isaac at Congressman Scott's at Isaac office, and we got him the truth. And after that, he was happy. He never forgot about Congressman Scott, our city officials, because we really looked out for our neighborhood and the people that was involved. And thank Mr. Polk and for coming always stopping by the shop, give me a heads up on what's going on. And thank everybody again for coming on to our neighborhood. Come back again. You can come back Friday for my father's dedication and the renovation of Jesse Davis Park. Thank you.
We got it. Wow, this is the day that the Lord has made. I am just so thrilled and just happy about this moment and to stand here and to celebrate what God has done. Certainly, we have given birth to a new movement, to freedom, to access, to a thoroughfare that was once blocked. I will say this, we are free at last, and thank you. I would like to just acknowledge our elected officials, certainly the Honorable U.S. Congressman David Scott. Thank you for every single thing that you do, and I'm going to come back to you in just a moment. I would like to thank you so much to the Honorable Mayor of Douglasville, Mrs. Rochelle Robinson. Thank you so much to the Douglasville City Council. Love you dearly. Certainly would like to thank our Board of Commissioners. Certainly have with me today our Vice Chairman Kelly Robinson, who is the wind beneath my wings. I say that all the time, and certainly want to acknowledge our District 1 Commissioner Henry Mitchell III. This is his area, and I know he's here in spirit. Tarenia Carthen, Commissioner of District 3, and Ann Jones-Guider of District 4. We certainly are excited about this moment. Certainly, I will say that I only had one child, but I believe this project was my second child. Had to push on moments when the labor pains were tough. I had a lot of conversations with our wonderful GDOT board member, Dana Lemon, who certainly has been just patient through this project, so thank you. And it's just been a time, and certainly want to thank GDOT Commissioner McMurray and the entire GDOT team. Thank you. You all have just been more than amazing through this long project. You spent a lot of time with myself and Mayor Robinson, certainly advocating for the citizens of Douglasville and Douglas County at large. Congressman Scott, I want to personally thank you for taking Douglas County and Douglasville from ordinary to extraordinary. You have been a pioneer, trailblazer, a man of God who have moved us in a new direction. And without you, I don't know what I would be doing right now, but I just thank God for you in this moment. You have just set standards where others will be judged. You moved a mountain, and it was literally a mountain, a stone mountain in Douglas County. Now you hear the traffic moving on a mountain. And certainly want to honor Sam Davis, and I know his father's park. This is his area, Mr. Sam Davis, and also LaShawn Verdanley. Thank you for moving the project along. You all you have the battle scars to show it, and certainly Mayor Robinson and Commissioner Mitchell for flying to Washington to make a statement. But I will follow the script that my communications director have given me. It's real quick, it's a paragraph, but I had to take my moment and just express my gratitude today. I'm excited to be here with my vice chairman in celebration of the renovation of Highway 92. Today not only marks a day to celebrate, but proof of what happens when a city, county, state, and federal government collaborates. I'm proud to be here on behalf of the citizens of Douglas County, because without them, we as a whole would not be thriving and growing leaps and bounds in Douglasville and Douglas County. This day marks not only a significant milestone for the city of Douglasville, but the accomplishments of a strategic priority for citizens, and that's transportation. Thank you, Mayor Robinson and the city of Douglasville, for shepherding us through and making sure this infrastructure will last for a very long time. I'll leave you with the words of Amanda Gorman: what was will never be, and what is now is something we can see. So thank you, and have a great day.
All right, Thank you all so much. We appreciate everyone, and I just want to say on behalf of the City of Douglasville staff, as city manager, I appreciate everyone who's worked tirelessly. I appreciate the working relationship with GDOT staff. It's been great, and I know it will continue to be great, and I will echo Ms. Lemon's comments when she says Ruben is great, because he really is, and everyone has been. He's just a constant testament to commitment to public service, and I think that that is a reason that we're all here and that we can see this project get through. So I do appreciate it, appreciate everyone that has spoken. Directions to get out before you get out of the heat. We do have to have a Photoshop moment. So the gentleman in the gray shirt in the back, Jason, wave your hand. He's our community relations director. He will direct us to where we will cut the ribbon officially to get these photos. And I think that we have a meal for everyone. Am I correct, Jason? At the Douglasville Conference Center, 6701 Church Street. We're providing transportation for those who do not have transportation or would like some. As well as we will help to escort those there. So we hope that you're able to join us. We wish and we request that you join us. So on behalf again of the City of Douglasville, Douglas County, thank you all so much. We appreciate this opportunity.
Yes.